Hi, everyone. It's Nay here, and Lola is not feeling well today, so it's just me by myself, but I love selling shoes. So Nay here, and Lola is not feeling well today, so it's just me by myself, but I love selling shoes. So Nay here, and Lola is not feeling well today, so it's just me by myself. Got it. Sorry. Okay, that was a tough start. So apparently I had myself open another window. Sorry. So I'm not usually the one running the show. It is usually Lola, which shows. And I am going to be talking about shoes today. So I love selling shoes. I'm going to give you my top 10. Well, not my top 10 because I have so many tips, but top 10 of my top tips for selling shoes. So without further ado, I will get into this. And by the way, we are, if you don't watch us every week, we are Naylo's Thrift Talk. I'm usually my other half of the show. My co-host is Lola, who isn't feeling well. But we are all about not only thrifting for reselling, but thrifting for ourselves, thrifting for sustainability, for environmental reasons, and, for sentimentality, just the whole circle of having something that's thrifted and giving it new life and, not going just to the waste stream. So that's what we're about. And I am going to start with our 10 tips on selling shoes. And plus I do have a bonus mini haul here. I have a box from a blue box, a Goodwill blue box that I have. And I have also a mini shoe lot that I bought on shopgoodwill.com, and it was just 2 pairs of shoes. One is okay, one is pretty good, and I'll show you those and why I bought those, and I'll do that at the end. So okay, so we usually will show, okay, so we usually will show, I'm on the wrong screen, no wonder. Sorry. Okay. I'll get there. Okay. So what we usually do is we do a what thrifted items are Nay and Lola wearing this week. It's obviously just me. So I'm a Philly girl. I lived in Philly for over 15 years, just moved back home last year to New Jersey, but Philly is where my heart is. So I thrifted this Phillies shirt. And I like it because it's a little bit, I am a breast cancer survivor, and it's a little bit kind of breast cancer survivor with the pink. So kind of reminds me of that. And my earrings are also thrifted. They're just like costume, but they're kind of like crystals. And what else? Pretty much everything I always wear is thrifted. So, and I should have brought myself up on the big screen for that. Let me do that. So let's see my Philly shirt. There you go. And okay, here we go. I keep doing that. I'm on the wrong screen. So sorry. Okay. Here we go. Screen 2. Okay. Thrifted home decor items of the week. So we always bring you some examples of things that we found while thrifting and things that you should be looking for in the thrift store, things that we've thrifted for ourselves for our own homes. So here is mine. This is called TOLE painting. It is a vintage mid-century tray. And you should always look for these. They're hand painted. They're usually metal. I have sold a couple circular ones. This one is actually, it belongs to my mom, and I'm not selling it, but this is something I would hold on to, but it's actually, it says Fine Art Studio, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on the back of it. So, and it's definitely mid-century. Now it does have a little bit of wear to it, but nothing major. This is intentional, painted on the edges there. So these, do go for quite a bit. I sold a circular one for, I'm trying to think, somewhere in the neighborhood of about $40. So they are a good find if you find them. So, and I'm going to start getting into my tips. So I'm going to do this in a 10 tip style. So my first tip is to know your shoe styles. So if you do a search, like a Google search, and you just type in shoe styles or shoe glossary, shoe dictionary, you will come up with so many of these that look, that look like this. You'll see so many. And if you go to Pinterest, there's so many too. So you can easily find the style of shoe that you're selling. Why is that important? Because you're going to want to use that in your keywords for sure, because people are looking for certain styles of shoes and certain, certain cuts, certain features on them. So, know what type of shoe. And if you do need help, if you research and you need help, you can always pop it into thrifting board. You can always ask me, so, definitely know what style you're selling before you do. And there's another example. You can see, there's so many different, styles. Now this one just has Dr. Martens, but those are also known, known as eyelet lace. The number of the number of laces they have. You need to describe that. There's docksiders, also known as loafers. So these are, this glossary is a little bit, there's multiple names for different shoes. So this says open toe. These are actually peep toe with the small opening. So you can see there's different styles for these. They have these under mules. I would also call them wedges with that. This is a block heel, and it's also a sling back. The Gladiator, that is what that style is. But you can see there's multiple terms for different shoes as well. So know every term for your shoes and use, jam in as many keywords as you can and leave out the unnecessary ones. There's another example. And flip-flops are also called thong sandals. You can put that keyword in there. So these are high tops. Now these have Velcro closure, but you have to say hook and loop for that because you can get a Vero otherwise. Platforms, Oxfords, slingback, sandals. These would also be Gladiators. And this heel these are called, they have spool heels. That's also called a kitten heel on the bottom. You can't really see it, but it's a small, narrow heel. And it's, usually like just an inch and a half. And that's called a kitten heel. So I will probably be doing a show in the future about shoe styles more in depth, but you get the idea. So, okay. So my second tip is to clean your shoes before you take your photos. So you definitely want to take take your photos of clean shoes. And it's a good idea to clean them beforehand anyway, because you want to ship them looking nice. But if you take your photos of dirty shoes, people are going to think they're going to get dirty shoes. You're not going to get as much for them. So I had showed these in a haul. This is a pair of Nikes I have right here. So this is a pair of Nike men's Nike Air, and they were in really bad shape. Not really bad shape as far as wear though. They were just very dirty. They had a lot of scuffs. The laces were actually gray, you can see, not white. And so I definitely needed to clean those, and I knew it. So what did I do with these? These do have leather on them, but with sneakers like this, you can throw them in the washing machine. I pad them with towels, and I use OxiClean. And I don't have to do anything else. Now I do take the laces out, put those in a cup, and I soak them in OxiClean, like usually overnight, and they come out super white. You can change the laces if they're frayed or anything like that, but these weren't. It was just discoloration. So they came out great, and big difference. You can see there's my before photo, but that's what they look like after. So big difference. And that's the photo that I used for, my listing. That's one of the photos. And you see there's a small scratch on one still that I just couldn't get out because it is actually scratched through. But with something like that, you could touch it up. It's not a big deal though. That's not a deal breaker. I got all of the dirt and grit off, and they look, relatively new. So that's what you want to do. You definitely want to clean your shoes before you take your photos. And there are also a lot of different ways to clean your shoes. So we'll probably do a show about that too at some point, but about cleaning items. But one thing, have an arsenal of cleaning items and tools for your shoes. So these are some of the things that I keep in my little toolbox. I have a suede brush for suede shoes. You have to go gently, but that does get scuffs out of suede. I have shoe polish in black and brown, and that does help with, you definitely can get some buffs and scratches, buff them out and get some scratches off. Magic erasers are essential, especially if you don't have to throw them in the wash and you just have like a few scuffs on this part of the sneaker. On this magic eraser works wonders. So, and also I keep alcohol wipes. Toothbrush and baking soda is great. Now, you can get in like the little cracks and stuff, of shoes with just take an old toothbrush, some baking soda, rub it in, and you can get them clean. So there's a lot of different ways that you can clean your shoes, and you can take some rubbing alcohol on the stickers, or even like sometimes even the Clorox wipes work on the marker on the bottom, but there's also ways that you can get the marker up. So lots of different options. And my next tip is to keep the correct shoes shipping supplies handy. And by that, I mean, what I usually do is, hold on 1 second, I have a child here. Okay. Go ask Nanny. Okay, go ask Nanny. I'm so sorry. My son is here. Okay. So keep the correct shipping shoe supplies handy. So this is one of the best things that I can talk about. It is the Priority Mail shoebox. You do have to order these online. You cannot usually get them in the post office. So it actually says shoebox on it, and it is long and narrow, and it fits. I mean, I have men's size 13 shoes in these, so it does fit. Okay. Okay, well, you can watch it. Go downstairs, please. Okay. Sorry about that. So these are great for shoes. The other thing and usually most shoes, even with the box, will go at £2 rate. There is an exception. Doc Martens, heavy men's shoes, they'll go sometimes 3 and 4 pounds, boots. So you have to pay attention to the weight on them. But on average, most of them will go £2. You can also use the regional A boxes for if they're going across the country, for example, because they will go at the £2 rate. Now, you can ship a shoe box inside a poly bag if it has the box already. You can do that. And a padded flat rate or poly mailers should only be used for flip-flops, flats, shoes that aren't going to have a heel that's going to break off. So like these, for example, have a heel that can break. So with these, what I would do is stuff them with tissue paper. And then I would wrap the heel in tissue, sometimes bubble if it's really fragile. And then I will ship this in a box. I would not put these in a padded flat rate because not only can they get crushed, scuffed, but the heels can break off, and the heel caps are also something that can. So what I would ship in a padded flat rate are flip-flops, shoes like this. These are some vintage boat kind of loafer shoes. They are, the brand is Beacon. They're from the 70s. They're really cool. But these are, there's nothing here that's going to break or get ruined. And if they get crushed, it's okay. They can. So something like this, I would definitely ship in a padded flat rate. Sometimes kitten heels, if they have a small heel, I'll wrap them in bubble, put a little cardboard, kind of do a FOMO method on them. So you can ship some in a padded, but heels like this, for example, and if somebody's paying, a lot for the shoes, I will do a box, and I'll charge for shipping unless they're really expensive, and sometimes I'll add the cost into the item, but usually I will charge for it. So, and let's see, my next tip is to store your shoes properly and in pairs. So this is really important. So I have had this happen before where, you know, I have different Rubbermaid bins and I've moved and whatnot, and one shoe ends up in one bin and another in another. So you don't want that to happen ever, because you will go on a mad witch hunt for your shoes and it's not fun to. So what I usually do, I'll either take, zip ties are great, rubber bands are good to hold them together, but put them, and I do store them in Rubbermaid bins, but I will pack them with tissue paper, or so a pair of boots like this that can easily get creased. I even use like old wrapping paper inside just to make them hold their form. And then I'll usually put some tissue, or sometimes what I do is I store, like I layer some t-shirts in between just so that they don't scuff each other, but they're fine. Like as long as you lay them neatly in the bin and properly pack them so that they hold their form, then, you know, they're really easy to store. So they can get heavy though. So, you know, it's kind of good to pack some other things. Like I said, like sometimes I'll put t-shirts in between just to pad them. So you can also, with some of the more expensive shoes and some that really need to hold their form, you can get the cardboard shoe forms, which you can get on eBay or Amazon, or wooden shoe forms or shoe trees. You can hold the shape that way as well. They also sell, by the way. So, and you can put some clothing or fabric or tissue, like I said, so they don't scuff each other. So espadrilles and cork shoes don't really tolerate humidity. There's a lot of heels that don't tolerate humidity. Some of them actually will disintegrate and dry rot too. One of the things that you can do is get those silica gel packets and just stick them in, and they will suck out all the humidity, and that will be, you know, an ideal situation for it to be stored in. So those work too. And, you know, like I said, with the tall boots, you can also roll cardboard in these. There are boot inserts that are made too. That's like a long stick and it goes in and it keeps the form. So there's different things that you could do for boots, but for these, what you don't want to do in shipping or storage is do that, because that will crease them, bend them. You will not have a happy buyer. So don't do that, especially with the tall boots. And so also after they've been stored for a while, what you're going to want to do, and this happens a lot on dance go shoes, you know, like clogs, that kind of thing. You will want to do a twist test. Now, this isn't an example of a sole that really disintegrates easily, but what you'll want to do is just bend them just to make sure that nothing crumbles. So after they've been in storage for a while, before you ship them, I would definitely take them out again just to make sure, because you don't want to send a pair of shoes that are going to crumble to a buyer. So, and my next tip is know your shoe anatomy. So let's see. So, okay. So here's a men's shoe. You can see the different parts of it. The tongue, you probably all know, but this part is called a quitter, the lining. And if you look at the item specifics in eBay, you will see a lot of these terms and you might not know what they are. So you definitely want to add like lining material is one I know, insole material. This is the counter, the back part of the shoe here. Outsole is the bottom. The midsole is like this part. So in this shoe, this would be the midsole here. Right here. This is the midsole. That's the outsole. The insole is the inside of the shoe. And the upper, we'll talk about a lot. You'll hear about the upper material. That's basically what this part of the shoe is made of. So here's some more. This is the anatomy of a athletic shoe. So you'll see, you know, some of the same terms, but you know, some of them are a little different. The vamp is this upper part here, and the toe cap is this part. So you should definitely be able to, you know, sometimes people will ask you questions too. If you don't have like the outsole material, there's leather outsoles on a lot of dress shoes. But then, you know, some dress shoes have like plastic cheap, you know, heels that are going to skid. People want to know if they're skid resistant, what they're made of, if it's rubber, so definitely add that information. And next is, So this is the anatomy of, and again, it's a lot of it is the same terms, but there's also, this is a heel. So here you have the platform would be the part of, these are not platforms, but it would be, you can see there, this part right here, that is the platform. And the sole, the outsole is the same. The top lift is this. So this little tiny part, also called a heel cap. I call that a heel cap as well. And those are something that you have to pay attention to too, because they often will get bent. Sometimes they're not there, and you'll just see like a nail sticking out kind of thing, like a nail head. So you definitely want to note the condition. And I usually will take a close up of that cap of this part. So you want to do that. And you can see there, the shank is, so this part of a heel on the bottom is called a shank. So like the arch part there. So, and so that's, so you get an idea of, but there's so many of these graphics online. There's so much help out there. Shoes are so easy to research. So, oh, don't want to do that. So, okay. All right. So my next tip is, and I'm sorry, I'm a little slow with this because I don't usually run the show. So, okay. List measurements on shoes. So you're going to ask, what do you measure? So I happen to have somewhere measuring tape, which fell on the floor. So, so what you want to do is definitely measure. You want to list measurements. So I will explain what to measure and how to measure quickly. So what you want to do, and I just whacked my head. Oh, that hurt. Okay, I'm okay. So, that hurt. I have a bump there. I don't think I'm bleeding, but all right. So, what I will measure on a shoe is heel height on women's heels. So I will measure from there to there. This is a 4-inch heel. You measure it from where it meets the top of the shoe to the bottom. Super easy. And then I will measure the insole. So you can see on these, sometimes it's hard to get into the insole, especially on a boot that doesn't have a zipper. So you can, if you can't, you can measure the outsole and give that measurement and say that you couldn't get in there. But so what you do is, oh, thank you, Angelique. Yes, I'm gonna have a knot in my head. Oh, goodness, typical. All right, so what I will usually do is go in here and I'll hold, you can do this alone. You don't have to have two people measuring it. It's very easy. You just have to get the knack. So get the measuring tape in to the top of the toe, to the bottom of the heel, and then hold it there and then see what your measurement is. So these are about 9.5 inches long. And then, so I'll do that. And then I will measure the width at the ball of the foot, which is right there, like this part on the insole. And then I'll measure the width at the back of the heel. So back here. That's usually about 2 inches, but it depends, on narrow shoes, they can run narrow. Usually the average on women's shoes is like 3 inches and 2 inches. But so these are 2 inches at the back of the heel. And these are medium width. So you want to definitely not only, measure, not only give the size, but give the measurements and some, wide width, narrow width. You definitely want to measure that. So now if you also have boots like this, one really important thing, especially for women, but for men too, is you want to measure the circumference of the shaft here. So this would be 13 inches around. So you definitely want to give that measurement because we all have different size. Our calves are all different sizes, and sometimes they won't fit. Now, one little tip for plus size women, there is Torrid makes a line of boots. I think Lane Bryant does as well, and they are made for larger calves for plus size women. So that's a big bonus. So you definitely want to list that. If you have plus size boots, definitely, say wide calf, that kind of thing. So, and then you're going to measure on a boot not only the heel height. So I would measure the heel height, which is about 3 inches from here to here, but I would also measure from the top all the way to the bottom of the heel. So I would put that height in there too, which would be 12 inches. So I measure, boots are a little bit different. So there's different, and sometimes people will actually ask me for different measurements too. If you don't have the size of a shoe, you can find some amazing, resources for translating sizes. So you should always put different sizes, and that's going to be my next tip, is always list the US and UK and European sizes on shoes. So some shoes, first of all, they come with just European, like a 40 is a size 10. I know my sizes by heart, but there's charts that will help you if you don't. So UK sizes and US sizes, because especially if you're selling international, though, like on Poshmark, for example, it's not international, unfortunately, but I will still, like, if we still have buyers, you know, that are from other countries and whatnot, but I will still, a lot of times, the issue with that is, if shoes are in European size, you want to translate them to US size, because, you know, you have more of a target US buyer. On Depop, there's a lot of UK buyers, so you definitely want to put your UK sizes in there. But I will list all the sizes. If not in the keywords and the title, I definitely will put them and fill out those item specifics, because on eBay, they will ask you for European, US size, UK size. So definitely fill those out, because it does get you more views for sure. So here is one that I love for shoe sizes. So there's so many handy charts, but this is one that I especially love. This is Zappos.com, and they have actually a shoe size calculator. So you can, like, okay, so I'm a women's 9.5, 10. So let's say you're women's 9.5, then you're a 40 in European size. And then you can find the inches, the centimeters of what it should be. So in this way, you can also, if you have a pair of shoes, let's say you have a pair of shoes that does not have a size in it, don't not buy them because you're intimidated by them not having a size. You can measure the insole length, and you can easily find and this is a great tool for that. So again, Zappos.com, it's measure your shoe size. You'll see it on the Zappos site. And here you can get conversion to inches, to centimeters, European size, UK size. So, and UK size is usually, it's 2 sizes below the US size. So that is this tool is if you don't, now I've memorized over the years, I've just kind of memorized my sizes and all, but this will help you if you don't have a size and you just need to do the measurements. So that is a really valuable tool. And then they also have shoe size charts, conversion sizes for inches, centimeters, European, UK, US, and Canada. In all women's sizes, they also have, somewhere on their site, they have men's and they have kids. So if you click on, you know, these, you can also get the men's and the kids size chart. So definitely very valuable. And I highly recommend using those charts. And I know Jason also talks a lot about, you know, he always adds centimeters in. I don't always do that, but it is a good idea because we are the only country that does not follow the metric system. So this is an easy way to do that. Look, you've got your centimeters in there. You've got your, you know, right there. So easy way to convert. So my next tip is to not underestimate the shipping. So this is kind of ties into my shipping tip, but so I had mentioned that most shoes do go at the 2-pound rate, but many are heavy, especially if they've got a steel toe or something like that, and especially men's shoes. And so some of them you can do in a padded flat rate and save money that way, but don't try to shove in a pair of breakable shoes or a pair of men's shoes that can be crushed. You know, like if you sell a pair of Gucci men's dress shoes, do not try to put them in a padded flat rate envelope. That is not a good idea. So what I will usually do, I will accommodate. I'll measure them. I'll weigh them. I usually know my shoes. A lot of them are, again, at the 2-pound rate, but make sure that you don't have a 3 or 4 pound. Account for the box and add the shipping cost. If you do free shipping, add it into your item. I do a lot now without free shipping, and I just add the cost and they pay for it. So so just make sure, because the shoes are something that you can definitely get kind of shoot yourself in the foot with good analogy there. But you can actually really mess up on the shipping and have to eat the cost, and you don't want that to happen. So pay attention. And my next tip is to stay on top of trending shoe styles and brands. So there's a lot of resources online. I'm going to show you a couple that I really like. And see, so here is one. This is thetrendspotter.net. So they update often. So they have, this is 2020, what's in, what's going to be in the fall, so you can get an idea. Black and white cowboy boots are very in style right now. So you want to look, if you find those at the thrift stores, pick white kitten heels. There you go. So chains are another thing that are coming. Chains on adorning the shoes. That's a big thing right now. So this is the kitten heel that I was talking about. So it's got that little tiny heel there. They can be fragile, so don't be careful when you're shipping those as well. Straight leg boots. Okay, so boots are pretty much always a staple. I pick up boots, if they're in good condition, especially in the bins. This is a stiletto heel on the bottom there. And so straight boots like that. Ornate heels. Now these are interesting. These are Yves Saint Laurent. They're going to be very expensive, but things happen. You can find things. I have Prada shoes in my closet. I've sold Gucci shoes. I have a lot of high-end, I find a lot of high-end items at thrift, so they're there. Square toes are in. So this style always kind of goes in and out. Round toes are in sometimes, pointy toes are in sometimes. Right now, it's all about the square toe. So so look for those two. Kitten-heeled mules. Kitten heels are a nice staple to have. So I do pick those up. These are mules, again, like that. Without the back there, you just slip into them. Combat boots are in. So Doc Martens, think those kind of things. Chunky white sneakers. There you go. Now these aren't exactly creepers, but there's a style of sneakers with really thick heels on them, and those are called creepers. Contrast toe boots. So this would be called a cap toe, that part on the top of the shoe there. And platform sandals with ankle straps. So platforms, this is a style that was really big in the 90s, and it is back in full force. So and I am so sorry that I donated a long time ago my platforms from the 90s, because I rocked those platforms and I had some really crazy ones, and unfortunately I donated most of them. And then here is another one. This is Harper's Bazaar. So these are, and you'll see some of the same things, but I talked about chain accents. That's what I'm talking about there. Like if you find those with the chain accent, and they can be delicate, but that's very much in right now. These are $220, but and you can get an idea by looking at some of the fashion magazine websites and whatnot. Like this is Harper's Bazaar. You can get an idea of some of the brands to look for and the styles. Loafers are in, but loafers with a sling back and an open back are kind of the new thing. And chunky loafers. So I sold a pair of, believe it or not, the brand was, I think I showed it on one of the shows. The brand was Nine West. And it's not usually a brand that will sell really well. But I knew that if I sold them, they were chunky loafers, kind of like this. They were not Prada that were $950, but they were Nine West, and they had this chunky heel, the style. And I knew that if I put them on Depop and marketed them as 90s chunky heel loafers, that they would sell. And sure enough, they sold for over $50. And if I had sold those same pair, if I tried to sell them on eBay, they would not have. So you know your audience and know who you're marketing to, like those 90s kind of chunky things, those platforms. Depop is the place to sell those. You can cross list too, but and colorful boots. Now we saw that a little bit on the other website, but yeah, bright colors always in. I had a pair of boots that were this color. So bummed, the heel broke off and it was just, they were not salvageable, but I wore them so much. So I love that blue color. And you can see denim heels, and ankle strappy sandals are in again. So that's another thing that kind of goes in and out, but they're in again. And espadrilles and wedges. Be careful when you're storing these. They do not do well in humidity. I had mentioned that. That's where the silica gel comes in. So high platforms, we saw that on the other site. Leather ankle boots. So you get an idea of some of the styles that are in right now, and definitely look for these. Do your research. There's so many websites out there. Pinterest is another great source for shoe styles, for trends, for all of that. So keep your eye out. Be aware of what is trending and stay on top of it, because you will be able to sell things for a lot more than normal, like that pair of Nine West shoes that I mentioned. So, and there's a lot of brands that are always in fashion. Like right now, Rothy's is really big. And I'm going to talk about that at the end of the show because I sold a pair. But Rothy's is really big. I would imagine that trend will kind of dip. But right now, they are hot. Everybody and people are paying. Adidas, Nike, those kind of brands are always in fashion. And look in stores, look on online. If you can't go to the stores right now, look at the online websites. And I mean like the mall stores, the department stores, the high-end stores. I always say, get a feel of what's there and look around at what others are wearing, and then do a search. And you can search on eBay, you can search solds and see what's selling, do a high to low search, on different styles. So do your research and stay on top of what is in style. And my last tip is to take photos of all angles of the shoe. So on eBay, you get 12 photos. On Poshmark now, you get 16. On Depop, you only get 4, but you do have a video option. Use that video. And you can also do collages where you show different views in one picture. So there's ways to get around the 4 photos there. And Mercari has a bunch of photos. Use all your photos and show. So what I do is I show any flaws close up. You don't want to hide those. You want to show them. And here's one of my listings that sold. This was from the Goodwill Blue Box. And you can see what I did. I have a picture, a close-up picture, a good picture of the shoe. And I will, a lot of times I'll lay them this way. I do have a shoe form. My shoe form broke. My dog stepped on it and it broke, so I have to get a new one. But those were great. The shoe inserts for some shoes, they work really well, especially when you have like the strappy heels. But I'll just lay them out on my deck like this, but get a close up of all the details. See, I have a close up, and people can zoom in on eBay. So I make sure that I get really good photos of the inside, the instep, the bottom of the outsoles. I make sure that I show that. And you want to show that again, zoom, take a picture and zoom in on the heels of women's shoes. Definitely women want to see that those heel caps are intact. They want to see the wear in the bottom. On leather outsoles, scuffs are normal. People know that. Even on these, these did go through the wash. They were cleaned, but the bottoms still are going to have some of a pair of pre-owned shoes are still going to have some wear. People know that, and that's okay. And then always show a picture of a close-up of the inside of the tag that has that often it will have the item number or style, and the European, the UK size. So there, a lot of times too, especially on athletic shoes, all of your sizes are right there. The UK and the European size are right there for you. So so there you go. So I sold these. These were pre-owned. I sold them for $59.99, and they were from my Goodwill Blue Box, which I paid $39.99 for with shipping. It's the shipping on that box is $14 because they're heavy, but it's well worth it. So, definitely show and take a close up of any flaws. You definitely want to show your flaws. So that is my last tip. And I'm going to do a little bonus Goodwill Blue Box mini haul. So I have been addicted to the Goodwill Blue Boxes lately. Like, I can't go out thrifting, and I guess I'm trying to, scratch my thrifting itch right now. And I have been buying the blue boxes. So you have to jump on it on Friday night, 6 p.m. They restock. You have to jump on it because they will be gone. And I love the shoe boxes. You get 5 pairs of shoes, and it's supposed to be repurposed shoes, but I am finding that the shoes are like gold that I'm finding. So I bought 3 boxes so far. So the shoes that I just showed that I sold came from my first box. I have a second box that had like some bicycle shoes, some cycling shoes that are worth at least $50, So usually in these boxes, 1 pair will pay for the box. And these were in my first box. I cleaned them up and I have them listed, I think $49.99. And, I'll take a best offer on them. But so in this box that I just got and I'll save the best for last. Okay, these are women's Skechers. And they're in pretty good condition. There's a couple minor scuffs on the back, but magic eraser. These don't have to be washed or anything. I will touch these up with a magic eraser, and they are a women's. All these will be for sale. So these are women's 6.5 US, and they are called they're air cooled memory foam, and I think they're called like Skechers. Yeah, Delights. So they have like a little rhinestone there. So these are cute. And Skechers don't always sell as well as other brands, but I'll try them on eBay. I might cross-list them on Posh. And I'm guessing, at least 25 to 30 bucks on these. So they're in pretty good condition. So already I've pretty much paid for the box. These are awesome. And they're in pretty much new shape. Their brand is Ellie Tahari. There's different lines of Tahari. LA Tahari is the one that usually sells the best. The brand has been a little bit on the decline as far as resale value recently, but it's still pretty solid. So there's the LA Tahari. So these are a pretty expensive pair of shoes. These are, and they're wooden heels. So this I would call, these are platform. So I would measure the platform height as well on these. This heel is probably 4 or 5 inches. It's a high heel. And I mentioned that it's wood. I would say studded. These are Gladiator style heels because anything with this many, see this T-strap and all the strappies, this is Gladiator style. So these I have not researched yet. They are a size 40.5, which is a women's 10.5, which is a good size. They might actually fit me, but I'll break my neck. So these would probably, I'm guessing that I probably could get 50 bucks for these, maybe more. So I will, and I'm thinking these will do better on Posh because of the brand and the style. So Gladiators are in right now, Gladiator heels. So these are Clark's. Clark's is a good, staple comfort brand. Again, they don't sell as well as they used to, but these are in almost new condition. They're great. They have the sticker on the bottom still. They're in really good condition. And I will market these as comfort shoes. They are a size 7 medium women's, and they're in good condition. So I might there's a couple little scuffs here and there that I'll just buff out, with and on these I don't need to, but you can touch this kind of outsole. Birkenstocks have these too with a suede brush. Some of them will have toe imprints, and that's kind of icky, especially with Birkenstocks, but there's only so much you can do with that, but you can touch them up with a suede brush. So that's, again, I would say probably 25, maybe 30 bucks for those. So I've paid for the box already. These are pretty cool. These are also brand new. They're called Woody Sandals, and they are hand painted. And you can see they have kind of sequins on the now I would not call these flip-flops. I would call them thong sandals. Flip-flops are more kind of casual. These are more like, you know, something that you might wear to a party or something, you know, kind of a casual, a luau maybe. So I would say Hawaiian hibiscus on these. They're all wooden, and they have the original price sticker on the bottom of them, which is interesting, $34.95 or size 8. I will leave that on there because I did look these up, and resale value, I will market these as, because I can tell they're new without box. And probably will get 25 to 30 for these. So not bad. Also, these are wooden. Because they're kind of narrow, it depends on where they're going. I might bubble them really good, put a little cardboard, and then do that in a padded flat rate because they are pretty flat. So, and okay, so these are kind of the holy grail of the box, and they do have some condition issues. Okay, I don't know where the other shoe is, but these are Tory Burch. They are ballet flats, and I don't know where the other shoe is, but the other one has some wear on it. But so they do have a few scuffs on them here. I will try to buff that out with, I have maybe a little shoe polish. I might be able to get that out, but that's not a deal breaker. They have some wear on the insoles here, which I'll mention. The outsoles have a little bit of wear, you know, but overall these are in pretty good shape. Tory Burch, again, I mean, I'll get at least $50 for these probably. I have to find the style. I will look up the style. It is in here. Often, if you look on this part of the shoe there, you can't really see it very well, but it will have a lot of times the style name. It is very hard to read on these, but the kind of bummer kind of is that they fit me. They're women's 10. They fit me, and they're super cute, but I guess I'm going to sell them. So that was my shoe box. Now, I also I bought a mini lot from Goodwill, Shop Goodwill. I bid on it, and I ended up, oh, here's the other one. I wanted to show this. So on the bottom of this, there's a little bit, the rubber is kind of peeling just a little bit on the edge there. So I will take a close-up photo of that and just disclose it, but that's not a deal breaker on those. Okay, so I got this box. It was a lot of 2 shoes. The ones are not going to sell for much, but I got them because, and we just had done a Kate Spade show. I got them for these. So these are Kate Spade. These are peep toe. And I won the lot. I won it for, it was, I think like $7 and then plus shipping. So I didn't pay a lot. I was the only bid on this, oddly. And I think why people didn't bid on it was because it has this on the back. I will get that off with some OxyClean. So this is canvas. Canvas is really easy to clean. So that should come nice and white and clean with OxyClean, and they should be like new. The heels, you can see, the outsoles rather, are leather. They do have some pitting. That's normal. Scuffs on the outsoles. That's pretty normal. So these are wedge heels, and they're peep toe, and they have that cute bow. Kate Spade. So I think they're small size. They're tiny. They're like 6. So, but you know, there's size 6 buyers out there that would love these. Now, the other ones that came with this lot are these. These are Anne Klein Sport. They're still cute. The Kate Spade are going to go for more, you know, probably around 40 or so. These, though, the Anne Kleins, you know, maybe I'll get 20, 25 for them, but still, you know, I'm making a great profit because I got I got them so low. So these do have a little bit of a scuff on this side of them. I'll just disclose that. I can probably touch that up with some marker, you know, and just disclose it. So that's what I got. So that is my shoe haul, and I'm very happy with these Goodwill blue boxes. They are awesome. So one more quick thing I wanted to show is, now Ferragamos, a lot of times the vintage Ferragamos especially, are narrow. So you want to pay attention to that. It's a great brand to pick up. These are slingbacks, but always look at the size. So these are 10.5, and the AA means extra narrow. So you definitely want to disclose that. And for some reason, a lot of vintage shoes did run a lot narrower. So that's why you want to definitely disclose the width, disclose, if they're a narrow size, like an AA, an N is also narrow, and you want to measure. So that is very important. So, okay. That's it on the shoes. And I know we'll be doing shows in the future. I love shoes, love selling them. I'm all about shoes. I've done some webinars in the Secret Beach. If you're not a member, you should join. All about shoes. And I did a 2-part shoe webinar, which, was really informative. So much more thorough than this. So, that's another great resource if you're join the Secret Beach. So, okay. Now I'm going to go to, all right, let me get out of here. Sorry, I'm trying to close my tab here. I am slow at this. Okay, so here we go. My thing went away. Okay, well, I don't know where my window went, but that's okay. Okay, so I will be, sorry. I'm sorry. My window went away. I had everything all set up and it went away. But okay, so we're going to be doing our market report right now, which is usually that's the last 2 things that we've sold. But in this case, I am going to be showing a few items. I'll be showing 4 since we don't have Lola to show her too. And 2 of my scores are shoes. So here's the first one. So this is a really big one. So these I did get in the Goodwill blue box. And this was in the first one. These are Rothy's. So Rothy's are really hot right now. And I paid an average of $8 a pair with the box because it was $39.99 for 5 pairs. And that's with shipping. Sold these to a buyer in Germany. She paid, she took a best offer of $165 plus shipping to Germany. So, and I did inform her that it's slow and she's like, no problem. She wanted this style. See, Rothy's are something that you want to look for and you want to get, people are looking for certain styles. A lot of the pointy toes ones, a lot of them are discontinued. Some of them go in the 200s and 300s. These went for $165, which I was really thrilled with because they came in the Goodwill blue box. They were in great shape. So I was very happy with that sale. And sorry, now I got to do this because my window went away. And I have, my next one is, okay. So my next one is a pair of jeans that I sold. So this brand you should look for. These sat for longer than I thought they would. So the brand is Curran Elliott. And these are Boyfriend Tatter Destroy. That was I think the style was actually Boyfriend. So I sold these. I paid $4.99 and I sold them for $36 plus shipping on Poshmark. So that was a pretty good sale. And my sales have been a little slower this week, but I also haven't been listing as much. So I've been doing some freelance graphic design work. So haven't been doing as much listing. And then another pair of jeans. These sold for, now these were kind of a dud. So I had these listed for a long time. In fact, I moved with these and I moved a year ago. So these were in the inventory that I actually moved. Don't know the brand. I think these came from the bins. They did, 99 cents a pound. So, but I sold them on Poshmark for $14. Poshmark takes 20%. So, I really didn't make much on these, but I was glad to get them out. So, and my last one was another pair of shoes. And these are, the North Face is the brand, and these are men's shoes. So I don't only sell women's shoes. And I want to talk more about men's shoes in the future too, because I know most of what I did in the Secret Beach was geared towards women's shoes, but I do know my men's shoes too. And there's a lot of money to be made in men's shoes. These are North Face. I picked these up at the bins. They were 99 cents a pound. And I sold them. I took an offer on Poshmark for $57 plus shipping. They paid full shipping because they made me the offer. And I was happy with that sale. So there you go. You can find great shoes in the bin. So, and these aren't really like, these are kind of hiking shoes, but they're not really summer shoes either. You can sell boots. You can sell, I think Jason sold a pair of winter boots recently. You can sell, you know, list them all year round, because people in July will buy furry winter boots. Don't know why, you know, but they do. So definitely don't think, and plus, you know, it's winter somewhere too, because if you sell internationally, you're getting a great audience there. So, okay, so that is everything, and that's my show. I hope everybody enjoyed it. If you want to find us, you can find us on, we're all over the internet. I'm on, you can, you know, private message me. I'm on Secret Beach. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and here's where you can find us. I am Thrifty Name. Most places, Lola is Run Lola Run or Lola Thrifts. I am Cold Rays Dazzling Finds on eBay, oddly. And that was, I had my first two sons, Colin and Brennan. I combined their names. The name just stuck. So I would be Thrifty Nay everywhere otherwise. And we're naylothrifts@gmail.com. We would love to get any questions, comments. Please comment on our videos. Please subscribe to, we really, you know, we're trying to boost our subscriber audience. So please subscribe, and definitely drop us an email if you have an idea for an upcoming video, if you want to be a future guest. Any other comments or questions, you know, definitely let us know. So we want to hear from you. And thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you kind of bearing with me, because little technical issues there, but you know, Lola is usually the commander of the show. She's usually the one behind the, anyway. Have a great week, everyone. We will be back next week, probably at 12 p.m. Eastern time. I am not sure what our topic is yet, but we will be, we'll be back and we'll let you know. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in, and have a great weekend. Bye.